Hello, my name is Murat Özveri. I've been trying to revive Turkish traditional archery for almost 10 years. And within these years, there was a systematic research about how our ancestors really did it, because there are a lot of archery treatises in which some information about this methodology is given, but the details are missing. So, although we know that there are three main stages in the training, the purpose of these stages and what an instructor should focus on, or what the trainee should focus on, is not clear. This is because of the esoteric character of the martial arts in ancient times, that the information was transferred from the master to the apprentice verbally, and it is also under the veil of strictly prescribed ceremonies. Years ago, we decided to follow the authentic Ottoman training methodology, and for that purpose, we needed to understand what purposes all these stages had. So, of course, a research about modern archery, how the body is used for shooting, what is the proper shooting form, and the arrow's behavior in the air. All this information helps analyze what they said in the old treatises. So, to understand all these require more than just reading the old treatises and having some know-how about the modern research on archery. When we started to follow the authentic methodology, we we figured out that we need to modify some aspects, some parts of that slightly. The first stage of the training was pulling a bow, which was called a kepaze bow. These bows were weak and they were used for pulling exercises only. The trainee never shot an arrow from these bows, and we don't know any details about these bows. In one of the treatises, it's mentioned that these bows have no horn, but we don't know whether they were sinew-backed or just self-bows. Today we are using two types of kepaze bows. One of them is a handpiece shaped like a grip of a real bow, bound to rubber bands, and the other variation is a bow made of PVC. This type of PVC bows are successfully made by many enthusiasts, and their videos are available on YouTube. This is just for pulling exercises, and the bow should be weak, as clearly mentioned in the all three treatises.
Practicing with kepaze bow is for acquiring the muscle memory that is necessary for building up a good shooting form. Because we are shooting instinctively, which means that we don't aim consciously, it's all about the shooting form that makes the archer hit the target.
This can be considered as one of the main modifications that we made, that we're using bows made of synthetic materials. But this can easily be justified because there is no clue what a kepaze bow exactly was.
Because the trainee learns all the basics of the shooting form at this stage, it's important to correct all the slight failures until he or she does it well.
Many candidates applied to our website to learn Turkish archery, and we organize a meeting once a month in which we explain many details about Turkish traditional archery, the history, the technical aspects, as well as the methodology that we're following, and the requirements of the group for the newcomers. And when the candidate take a decision about joining the group, they make their own kepaze bows by following our instructions, and then start training. And each candidate is supervised by experienced archers in the group to learn the proper shooting form. And this stage lasts approximately 8 weeks, not less than 8 weeks actually, which is again justified by the information that we get from the treatise. The second stage of the training is called torba, which literally means bag, or sandık, which literally means box. This naming depends on the type of target used. This is another modification we made actually. We're using modern targets made of synthetic materials, and the purpose is the same actually. This is the stage where the trainee learns how to shoot. This is the stage that the trainee starts shooting arrows actually, and the purpose is to learn the thumb release. And at this stage we are making the thumb ring for the trainee, and this thumb ring is a custom fit one, fits the size of the trainee's thumb exactly, and here he or she learns how to shoot, and trying to achieve tight groupings as well, which is actually the beginning of aiming. Because we are shooting instinctively, we cannot call it aiming probably, but the instinctive shooting starts with this torba training as well, although the main purpose is learning thumb release and the follow through. Both the first and second stage of the training require serious supervision by experienced archers and the instructors of the group. Analyzing of the arrows, for example, at the second stage of the training, how they actually stick on the target butt is critical, and depending on the position of the arrow on the target butt, the instructor corrects the form of the trainee and analyze the thumb release, which cannot be observed very easily, but the oscillation of the arrow is affected or influenced by the character of the thumb release or by the quality of thumb release, so that the instructor can analyze the failures or flaws of the technique of the training.
Other than trying to master the thumb release by checking and analyzing the angulation of the arrows on the target butt, the trainee tries to have tight grouping, arrow grouping on the target butt, which is actually a starting point for instinctive shooting. The distance to the target will be increased gradually after the trainee succeeded in getting tight grouping of the arrows. We don't let them get to the second stage before they accomplish this. Ideally, the arrows should be so close to each other that they look like one single thick arrow.
However, it should be kept in mind that most of the Ottoman treatises were written after 16th century, in which bow and arrow became a sports tool. That's why these treatises focus on flight shooting mainly. Flight shooting is an important aspect of archery, but in both in Persian and Turkish literature, it's clearly mentioned that it's the peak of the art of archery. So, first of all, the archer is expected to be a brilliant dart shooter, and this dart means piercing the hard objects, probably referring to the skill of controlling the arrow oscillation, which is a brilliant release and brilliant follow-through. And just after that, the archer was or is recommended to start practicing flight archery.
Shooting with spear has some extra requirements, such different muscle memory in the ball grip and the thumb block control. This new muscle memory should be acquired by practicing kepaze and torba for that purpose.
Although our training methodology is mainly based on that of the Ottomans, we harvest some information from the Mameluk treatises as well, especially to understand the military aspects of the archery. The Mamluks, by the way, were defeated by Sultan Selim I in 1517. Beforehand, they have been one of the most important military forces in this geography. They defeated the Mongolian and they stopped their invasion, for example. And culturally, it's a mixture of Turkish and the Caucasian cultures. So getting information about Mamluk archery is very important in understanding the military aspects of archery. So many of the techniques that we are teaching and practicing in our group, like fast knocking and shooting, is harvested or inspired from these Mamluk sources.
The advanced archers of the group practice the combination of these military techniques, including the combination of shooting from kneeling position or from other awkward positions, backward shooting, or shooting by getting the arrows from the hand instead of getting them from the quiver. On the advanced level, we are trying to improve our skill in instinctive shooting, and shooting at aerial discs or smaller objects thrown in the air is a part of the training.
Decision like dust we are tossed. It's a storm of choice.
It's nice to meet Turkish archers in the castle of Eger, one of the historic sites of Hungary, where 500 years ago Turkish and Hungarian forces were fighting to capture or defend the city. And now we are going to compete in a competition together. We are going to shoot our bows in the same direction, not at each other, but at targets. This is one of the most wonderful experience.
I'm really happy to meet your Turkish team in Hungary, in Eger, in this nice competition. I met Murat and his friends 6 years ago, I guess.